Number 1. Michael Jackson. The world lost Jackson on June 25, 2009. He had too much of a powerful anesthetic and other substances in his system and suffered a cardiac arrest. Blame was placed on his personal physician, Conrad Murray, who administered the medications to assist Jackson in combating his insomnia. Murray was convicted in involuntary manslaughter and received a 4-year prison sentence. But Jackson was paranoid in the period leading up to his death. He allegedly wrote in his diary that the system wanted to kill him for his music catalog. Therefore, some fans and conspiracy theorists took that mean that he was taken out by the Illuminati for business reasons. Number 2. John F. Kennedy. Speaking of assassinations, perhaps none is as noticeable as John F. Kennedy's. President Kennedy was murdered by a former Marine named Lee Harvey Oswald, who was acting on his own volition. However, Oswald insisted that he was a scapegoat before later being charged with Kennedy's death. But he was killed just 2 days later after his arrest. To this day, a large portion of Americans believe that there is more to the story and that a cover-up or conspiracy of some sort is at play. And yes, for some that conspiracy includes the Illuminati. These theories say that Kennedy was planning on exposing the Illuminati and their schemes, so he had to go. Number 3. Princess Diana. The violent passing of Princess Diana shocked the world, and roughly 2.5 billion people watched her funeral. So much public interest was bound to result in a conspiracy theory or two. Many have been blamed for Princess Diana's death, from the M16 to the Illuminati. Those who subscribe to the Illuminati conspiracy theory believe the organization somehow has ties to major world leaders and prominent public figures, and that includes the royal family. Believers think Diana was assassinated by them due to their public divorce from then Prince Charles. Police investigated many conspiracy theories, but found them to be baseless. Most of blame now lies on the paparazzi and the car's driver. XXXTentacion. Billie Eilish and XXXTentacion had a lot in common. They both emerged as artists in the 2010s, they both enjoyed popularity with Gen Z listeners, they both sang about difficult themes related to depression and anxiety. And according to one ridiculous theory, Eilish was responsible for the XXXTentacion's passing. The theory persists that she wanted into the Illuminati and was ordered to take him out as an act of recruitment. This in turn would have supposedly informed the lyrics in Eilish's Bury a Friend. The singer, for her part, was seemingly laughed off conspiracies linking her to the supposed secret society. Number 5. Kurt Cobain. The death of Nevada's frontman is mired in conspiracy theories. Kurt Cobain, who took his own life when he was 27 years old. However, many have accused of killing the historic artist and framing his death as an act of self-harm. In fact, journalists Ian Halperin and Max Wallace wrote a best-selling book called Who Killed Kurt Cobain, in which they posit that Cobain's wife, Courtney Love, was involved. But the theories go even deeper, and some of the most outrageous mention of the Illuminati. According to these, Cobain was assassinated by the secret society as he had supposedly exposed their machinations on the Nirvana album In Utero. Number 6. Martin Luther King Jr. The world came to a standstill on April 4, 1968, when Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in Memphis, in Tennessee. Perhaps the most civil rights activist of the 20th century, King Jr. was a major public figure and a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. His actions and influence made him a target of racists and the FBI, and the organization spied on the civil rights leader for years. Given all this, his assassination had become the subject of numerous conspiracies, with even more insane theories involving the Illuminati. These stipulate that the society had killed him due to his condemnation of the Vietnam War, as many powerful people had financial ties to the conflict. Number 7. Jimi Hendrix died of asphyxiation from vomiting while under the influence of substances on September 18, 1970. German figure skater Monika Dannemann spent time with Hendrix during his final day, and she revealed that he had taken multiple prescription sleeping pills. Of course, conspiracy theorists came up with other ideas, claiming that Hendrix was killed by the American government, who was supposedly in cahoots with the Illuminati. Hendrix's brother Leon reportedly mentioned him being under surveillance, likely due to association with the Black Power organizations, which some believe lends possibility to this theory. It's discussed in the book Wild Things, the short, Spellbinding Life of Jimi Hendrix, written by biographer Philip Norman, but, of course, has not been proven. Number 8. Whitney Hudson. One of the most legendary singers in history, Whitney Hudson died at the age of 48 on February 11, 2012. Hudson was found at the Beverly Hilton that afternoon, and her passing was later ruled an accident. She was suffering from a heart disease at the time and drowned while under the effects of illicit substances. One crazy conspiracy claims that the Illuminati was responsible for these substances being in her system in the first place. Proponents of the theory allege that this was the way to ensure the survival of Beyoncé and Jay-Z's daughters Blue Ivy Carter. Honestly, this one is so out there, we can't even make sense of it. Number 9. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe, the epitome of the blondie bombshell. Marilyn Monroe saw extraordinary success throughout the 40s and 50s. However, she faced intense personal problems and passed away at 36 under a somewhat unknown circumstance. Monroe was found deceased in the morning of August 5, 1962. The deputy coroner ruled that her passing was from having taken too many substances, likely intentionally. But some people aren't convinced. Norman Mailer famously believed that the American government was responsible, as he expressed in his controversial book, Marilyn, a Biography. Wild theories of this nature have only proliferated throughout the years, and have come to conclude the Mafia, and of course, the Illuminati. Number 10. John Lennon. The first Beatle to die, John Lennon was killed on December 8, 1980. The perpetrator was a man named Mark David Chapman. Chapman's motives were reportedly many, as he had long resented Lennon for his personality, way of living, and controversial statements. He wasn't the only person that Lennon had irritated, with the singer being targeted by the Immigration and Naturalization Service and the FBI a few years prior. According to the conspiracy theorists, these powers were tied to the Illuminati, who had allegedly manipulated or controlled Chapman into doing their bidding. Chapman entered a guilty plea and as of 2023 is still in prison.